Getting that Hardaway Southern T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If this your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button. We talk this good boxing, sports, parlays, predictions, MMA, basketball, football, every single day, not just today. Today we're here with the weight and boxing EP. Right, I want to talk about two things in particular today on this EP. I ain't gonna waste too much of y'all time because it's something else that I want to wrap with y'all about here shortly. Right, so we go get straight on to it. I want to talk a little bit about this past weekend fights. Right, we had the big one, Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. Also, Jamal Charlo made his return to the boxing ring, right? So we go rap about that a little bit. And I see, you got people calling for you got people calling you got half the people calling for Jamal Charlo versus Canelo, right? Then you got another portion of people calling for David Benavidez versus uh Canelo, right? So we got Canelo versus Charlo. We got Charlo calling out Canelo, right? We got David Benavidez calling out Canelo. So now, adjacently, we got David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo, right? Both calling out Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo right now. He's in the top spot in boxing, right? People talk about the face of boxing, the face of boxing. Canelo Alvarez right now is most definitely one of, if not the biggest name in boxing right now, right? So I said that to say guys like Canelo pretty much do what the hell that they want to do, right? He's going to fight. If he wants to fight Benavidez, which he has shown hesitation to, then he go do that. If you want to fight Jamal Charlo, which he has shown hesitation to, right, then he go do that. But I see we got one side, right? We want Canelo Charlo. Another side, they want Benavidez Canelo, right? But I remember a point in time where it was the time where we had the masses of boxing, right, calling for Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo. So I kind of just want to get back to that, right? Uh, what happened to that energy per se, right? I think now when people was calling for David Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo and whatnot, right? It didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Charlo wasn't even in a division, right? Benavidez wasn't a champion. He didn't have any straps or anything like that, right? That fight just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Charlo had been out the ring, you know what I mean, for over a year. At that point, didn't look like he would be getting back in the ring anytime soon, which he didn't. Right, he just made his ring return last week on a David Benavidez card as well. Right, you know what I mean. So I think there's something to that as well. Now I get it. I get it. Right, Jamal called out Canelo. David Benavidez called out Canelo. I get it. Canelo is the best, in the division. He's the undisputed champion in their division, right? It makes sense to call out Canelo Alvarez, right? And I'm not saying that I agree with Canelo Alvarez when he said this, right? But I also remember a time back then, right? People call out Canelo Alvarez all the time, right? Because he's in that top spot, right? And as you should. But I remember a time Canelo Alvarez had made a statement, right? Canelo Alvarez had made a statement. And I'm going to start with this before I get into, that Conor Benn and Jerome Boots Ennis situation, right? But I remember a point in time that Canelo, he had said something, right? And I didn't agree with it when he said it, right? But once I really thought about it, right, I agree with it under different terms for the reason that he said it, right? But I did agree with it for a different reason. Canelo Alvarez said, everybody's calling my name. Why don't they just have a tournament and fight each other? Why don't y'all fight each other and I'll fight the winner? Canelo said that jokingly, right? Which is why when he first said it, I didn't accept to it or I didn't take to it too well because I know he said it, in a joking manner. He said it to kind of, kick shit on, you know what I mean, the competition. He said, how about all y'all fight and I'll fight the winner? And he kind of laughed. Well, if you fast forward if you fast forward to now, from when he said that, exactly what he was joking about has pretty much already happened. And we're pretty much in the final round of what Canelo Alvarez made a joke about 2 years ago. Canelo made a joke and said, all these guys want to fight me. Charlo, Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, David Morrell, right? He said, all these guys want to fight me. How about y'all just have a tournament? Y'all fight each other, now fight the winner. Well, all right, let's run down the timeline. Let's run down the timeline real quick. Caleb Plant fought David Benavidez. Caleb Plant lost. Caleb Plant fought Canelo first, right? And he wanted his rematch. We could throw Caleb Plant in there too. Caleb Plant said, I want my Canelo rematch, right? He said, all of y'all fight. He said, all of y'all fight, and I'll fight the winner. So David Benavidez fought Caleb Plant. David Benavidez won. Uh, Demetrius Andrade, he stepped up. David Benavidez fought Demetrius Andrade as well. David Benavidez won. Jamal Charlo, the other name in the pot, right? He just made his ring return. He fought Jose Benavidez in the tune-up fight. He fought Jose Benavidez in a tune-up. Cassandra, what's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Queen. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. What's good, Cassandra? We're in here having a conversation. I gotta. I'm getting to a. I'm getting to an end. I'm getting somewhere with this, right? But I gotta walk y'all down the road. Gotta walk y'all down. The details. So so I can have y'all exactly where I'm at, right, on my train of thought. But so pretty much, right, Caleb Plant has been eliminated, right? Demetrius Andrade has been eliminated by Benavidez. Jamal Charlo has been inactive. Jamal Charlo just made his return, you know what I mean, this weekend, right? And then, of course, right, Dave Benavidez says, I want Canelo Alvarez. Charlo says, I want Canelo Alvarez. I remember it was a time where we all was asking for David Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo. Tell Charlo just to fight Dave Benavidez. He called out David Benavidez. He should fight, you know what I mean, Dave Benavidez. So see, I was saying it don't make sense because he didn't call out Dave Benavidez. He was asked a question and he said he'll whoop his ass if he got down to it. Whatever he was supposed to say, right? But you can't call out a guy that's not in the same division as you are. Well, now Both those fighters are fighting in the same division. You got Canelo Alvarez, who's hesitant to fight David Benavidez. You got Canelo Alvarez, who's hesitant to fight Jamal Charlo, right? Now, these guys can scream for a Canelo Alvarez fight until they blue in the face. You can scream for a Canelo Alvarez fight until you blue in the face, right? That man, like I said earlier, he not gonna do nothing that he don't see fit, nothing that he don't want to do, nothing that he don't have to do, because at this point he's earned it, right? So my thing is, Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez, he made this joke years ago. He said, "How about all y'all fight one another, and then I'll fight the winner?" Well, guess what? Caleb Plant has taken the loss. Demetrius Andrade just took his loss, and you only got two more people left on that list of names who was calling out Canelo Alvarez, and that's David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo. David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo have moved. David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo already have prior history. You know what I mean? He already had prior history, right? So my thing is, at this point, you don't even give. Shout out my girl Cassandra. She said if Saul had to choose, he'd pick Miles first over David. Right. My thing is, at this point, you don't even give Canelo Alvarez a chance to choose, right? You don't even give him a chance to choose. At this point, we done already got these great fights without Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo fought Triple G, right? Then he fought B-Ball, which ended up backfiring on him. And then he fought B-Ball, then he fought Triple G. And then he came back and he fought what's that guy name that beat Danny Jacobs? I'm forgetting his name right now, but see, that's why I can't even remember the guy name. But that white guy from the UK, one of Eddie Hearn boys, I can't even remember his name right now, right? But he fought that guy. And this division has been doing pretty good without him. You know what I mean? It's been pretty lit. You know what I mean? Without him, making these fights that we want to see. We've gotten Sanders. Not him. After Sanders. The other guy, not Billy Joe. I know Billy Joe. Not Billy Joe. He fought Billy Joe before he fought Triple G and Bivol. This was after him. I forgot his name. Not Billy Joe. It's another guy, Cassandra. But we can't even remember, some of your opponents' names, right? But this 168-pound division, it's been going pretty well, you know what I mean, without Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez just fought a 154-pounder in Jermell Charlo, right? So he's not even fighting guys at 168. But, David Benavidez has been carrying this division, right? In Canelo's absence, you got Jamal Charlo making his returns. They got people talking, you know what I mean? They got people buzzing. He's always a good watch. He's a good sell to the media. Jamal Charlo is a very watchable fighter in style, and he's a watchable fighter, in front of the microphone, right? No matter if you love it, you like it, or you hate it, you always know what Jamal Charlo said, and you always looking to see what Jamal Charlo talking about, right? So Ryder, there you go, John Ryder, Cassandra, there you go, yeah, either one. There you go, John Ryder, Cassandra. Shout out my girl, Cassandra. Appreciate it. Let me drop the flames for my girl, Cassandra. There you go, John Ryder. Appreciate you, my girl. Appreciate you. But yeah, John Ryder. So you fighting guys, names that we can't even remember. So pretty much at this point, the division is doing fine without you, Canelo, right? So I'm at this point, man. We not even gonna leave Canelo Alvarez a chance to pick, right? Southern T, what you mean? This is what I'm talking about, y'all. My girl Cassandra, my guy Cornbread. This is what I'm talking about. People was talking about David Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo, at a point in time where it couldn't happen. I feel like right now, it could happen more than ever. Right now, it will be the best time. We can push Canelo Alvarez out the picture right now, because I tell you what, Canelo is Canelo right now. Get it. We want to see him fight Canelo. They want to fight Canelo. Jamal called out Canelo. Dave Benavidez called out Canelo. But y'all, we got a damn good fight right in front of our faces. It's much more makeable than the Canelo fight. Instead of both of them sitting around waiting to see who Canelo Alvarez is going to pick, how about we leave Canelo Alvarez no choice but to fight the winner of David and Jamal. Like he said, you know what I mean? I think it's time we put Canelo foot to the fire. There's only two left. There's two left, and they just fought on the same card this Saturday. We got to see them both fight on the same card, and both looked impressive. Both guys looked impressive. Mao came off a 2-year layoff, and he looked like he didn't miss a beat. Mao came off a 2-year layoff, and he made it look like he fought 2 months ago. You know what I mean? He didn't miss a beat. David Benavidez looked ultra impressive. I don't got nothing else bad to say about David Benavidez. I don't question David Benavidez no more. I can't say that David Benavidez is unproven. I can't say that David Benavidez ain't beat nobody. I can't say that them things about David Benavidez no more. David Benavidez has answered that no competition question. David Benavidez have answered that can you do it against the best question. David Benavidez has answered, you know what I mean, those questions. Cassandra, stay with me, Cassandra. That's a great fight. That's a great fight, Cassandra. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. But I think that's a fight that we get right if Canelo decides to fight David Benavidez. Right? We get Plant versus Mao. If Canelo decides to fight David Benavidez, I think that's a fight that we get. Right? But I personally don't think Plant is going to decide to fight David Benavidez. I agree with you. Cassandra. I think Canelo Alvarez probably, even though I do think he's been avoiding Jamal Charlo for longer, right? Franchise title, that's how they get invented. Although I do think he's been avoiding Jamal Charlo. Well, I do think he's been avoiding Jamal Charlo for longer, right? I think right now at this point he feels safer, you know what I mean, fighting Jamal Charlo, right, over David Benavidez. So I think Caleb Plant versus Charlo is a fight we get if Canelo decides to fight David Benavidez, and I don't think that Canelo is going to decide to fight David Benavidez. You know what I mean? But I do like that fight. If we could get Caleb Plant versus Jamal on the same card as David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, that's a perfect fight. And I love that fight. I agree with you. But I don't think that, he's going to fight David. Like you said, I think he may be a little more inclined to fight Jamal at this point. You know what I mean? Because Canelo maybe feel like Benavidez will run through him, and he'll feel like, okay, maybe I got a shot to box Jamal. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I got a shot to box Jamal versus can I handle that pressure of David Benavidez? I think he may be a little more comfortable boxing with Jamal than trying to handle that pressure of David Benavidez. But I think he gonna run into some trouble with that power and that skill of Jamal Charlo. But I digress. But what I'm saying at this point, we go leave Canelo Alvarez no choice, right? I think instead of us, everybody's been saying a long time, mainly about Jamal Charlo, right? But David Benavidez do it too, right? Everybody say, stop chasing Canelo. Stop chasing Canelo. What you chasing Canelo for? Don't chase Canelo. You chasing Canelo, right? And for a long time, I said, bro, he's the best guy in the division. Why wouldn't you want to fight the best guy? You're supposed to aim at the top, right? But for once, I get it. I get it right now. It's clear as day. Don't chase Canelo right now because guess what? This division has been doing pretty well on its own without Canelo right now. Jamal Charlo just came back. David Benavidez has been carrying this division. Caleb Plant has gave us great fights. If we talk about fight for fight, get out of there. Get out of there. If we talking about fight for fight, Caleb Plant has gave us two of the best fight for fight you could give us. He fought Canelo Alvarez, came right after that, fought David Benavidez. The 168-pound division right now life is being pumped into this division. David Benavidez is a young star. He's pumping life into this division. We got the return of Jamal Charlo, the old veteran. You know what I mean? The middleweight coming up to 168. You know what I mean? Type deal. We got David Morrell Jr., the young gun that people want to ignore. The reason these guys got to go and fight one another right now, right? The reason these guys got to fight one another right now because you got guys like David Morrell on their tail, right? Because if y'all don't fight one another, y'all gonna eventually have to run into Y'all gonna eventually have to run into that David Morrell guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like this. No, I feel like this division. I feel like this division, right, has been doing pretty good without Canelo Alvarez, right? So at this point, man, it ain't gonna hurt to leave Canelo Alvarez out the mix for just one more fight, right? It ain't gonna hurt to leave him out the mix for just one more fight. Everybody was calling for David. Everybody was calling for David, and everybody was calling for Charlo. I think right now is the time that we need to start that David versus Charlo. Now is the time. They at the same division. They at the same division. Now is the time that we actually should be pushing for David versus Charlo. It makes perfect sense. And that way you leave Canelo Alvarez no chance. He made a joke. Why don't everybody fight each other, not fight the winner? Well, pretty much that has happened. David Benavidez knocked off Plant and he knocked off Andrade. Charlo just came back. And I feel like the best fight, I feel like the best thing for boxing right now. Don't have them guys chasing and waiting on Canelo for May. Unless Canelo Alvarez comes out and says, yeah, I'm going to fight Charlo, or yeah, I'm going to fight David Benavidez. You know what I mean? But don't have them guys chase me. I say, man, let's line up Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez. Jamal Charlo was saying the whole time during that fight press conference, right? Shit, I'm fighting the winner of Andrade and David Benavidez. So I think at this point, man, that's the best thing we could do. And it's crazy. Charlo and David Benavidez was on the same card, right? And they both called out Canelo Alvarez after their fight, right? Before the fight, they both were saying they'll get on, but after the fight, they both hit at Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? So I just feel like at this point now, family, instead of, all that propaganda when it was just, to get your views up and shit. Oh, David Morrell versus Charlo, when it couldn't happen. That fight, real deal, can happen now. And it's the last two. We got two people at 168, right? Because Canelo took his loss at 75. But we got two people left at 168. And that's Benavidez and that's Charlo, right? And then Canelo ain't going to have no choice but to fight the winner of that fight. If you really want David Benavidez to get that Canelo fight, right? If you really want Jamal Charlo to get that Canelo fight, right? If you're a fan of David Benavidez, you're a fan of Jamal Charlo, and if y'all really, really want them to get those fights, they got to fight one another at this point because they the last two left. They got to fight one another at this point because, right, as long as they don't, if they, let's say they keep taking lateral fights and they never fight Canelo, right? Canelo always got that caveat of saying, well, I'm the best because we don't know, who is my competition. Is it Jamal? Is it Benavidez? Right? He can't pull that where they fight one another and not fight the winner, right? Because everybody would have already fought one another, like a tournament. You know what I mean? Basically, 168 has had a mini tournament, and we've gotten down to the last round. The last round is Charlo versus David Benavidez. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy 1-2 Pivot. My guy 1-2 Pivot said, bro, Benavidez looked good on Saturday. His best performance, facts. Canelo needs to fight him next. No excuses. Shout out my guy 1-2 Pivot. Appreciate you sliding through. My guy 1-2 Pivot said, Jamal need a couple more fights before Canelo. I want him to be at his best when he gets that fight. Shout out my guy 1-2 Pivot. I can dig it. The Saul Assassin said Benn versus Boots makes sense. Oh, yeah, we gonna cook on that, man. We gonna cook on that for sure. We winding on down to it. I'm gonna get this thing to 30 minutes, right? Then I'm gonna switch to convo, and then we go, talk a little bit about both, right? You know what I mean? But shout out my guy Saul Assassin, do your boy solid. I don't know if this is your first time. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well, bro. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, predictions, parlays every day, not just today. Appreciate you sliding through. We do the cook up every single morning about 6:30, something like that. 6:30, 5:30, something like that. Believe it, in the morning, we go do a cook up. Just slide on through. Trust and believe we go be here. Greatly appreciate you making your way in the building. Shout out my guy, the Saul Assassin. 1-2 Pivot said Morrell way too dangerous for anyone to fight him. He need to wait till the belt split up to get elevated to Super WBA champ. Yeah, David Morrell right now, he's in that bad spot, right? Because he's the new kid on the block. He's the young kid. He kind of not in those guys. Those guys are above him right now, right? So they really don't have to fight him. It doesn't really, honestly, right? And I love David Morrell. Y'all know I'm one of the first people. Y'all know I'm one of the first people, right, who was pushing that David Morrell train, right? But it makes no sense, right? It makes almost no sense. Yeah, my bad, y'all. It doesn't make right with David Morrell, and I love David Morrell, right? I was one of the first people pushing that David Morrell train, right? But right now, honestly, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for anybody to fight David Morrell. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Benavidez, right? or Charlo to fight a David Morrell right now because they're already ranked above him, right? And while he is the WBA regular champ, that the WBA has given Canelo Alvarez until like the end of next year before he has to defend it against Morrell. So Morrell has a little time before his title shot is going to become effective. You know what I mean? So right now it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to fight David Morrell. He's not a champ, right? He's not worth a huge payday. On top of the fact that he could beat you, right? So he could beat you, make you lose your payday. He's ranked under you, and he don't have a belt just yet, right? So if I'm David, if I'm Jamal, my fight most definitely is with one another. You know what I mean? My fight most definitely is with one another. You know what I mean? But we know if Canelo Alvarez come knocking on either one of those guys' door, right, that fight is going to happen, period, right? No matter how we feel about it, right? But what I'm saying is, I would really, and Jamal called out Canelo, David Benavidez called out Canelo, but I would really rather them actually now go ahead and face off with one another because it makes sense. David Morrell profile has grown since a year and a half, a year or two ago, right? Jamal Charlo is still a star. He came back like he never missed a beat. You know what I mean? He looked great in the ring. He came back like he never missed a beat as far as his mouthpiece and his performance. Right? You know what I mean? I think now would be the best time for David Morrell, for David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo to go ahead and get down if they can't get that Canelo fight, right? But I think pretty much we pretty much had a super lightweight tournament, and I think we got to the last two bosses with Charlo and Benavidez, and that's the fight that I want to see. I honestly feel like equally they both deserve a title shot at Canelo, right? They both have done enough. Jamal Charlo has done enough at multiple divisions to earn a title fight with Canelo Alvarez. And David Benavidez most definitely has done enough at this 168-pound division to get, to earn that Canelo Alvarez fight. You know what I mean? But I think right now, if they fight one another, Benavidez and Charlo, you put Canelo feet to the fire, you honestly leave him with no choices because everybody else would have been and took a loss at that point, right? You leave him with no choice but to fight the winner of Jamal and Benavidez. If Jamal and Benavidez move. If Jamal and Benavidez decide to face off, you leave Canelo Alvarez with no choice but to fight the winner of that fight because that would be the last man standing. Y'all watch the WWE. Y'all remember the last man standing match? Charlo versus David Benavidez will be the last man standing match, right? And I think that's the direction that, the people and the fans should go. Yes, David Benavidez deserves a shot with Canelo. Yes, Jamal Charlo deserves a shot with Canelo. But the winner of that fight, Canelo can't duck the winner of that fight. There's no way possible because there will be nobody else left unless he moved up a division or down a division. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at with that. And that's really where I'm at with that.
You know what I mean? Shout out my guy, Derek Alexander. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Derek. Glad you can make it, G. He said, I want to see Benavidez versus Bivol. Fuck Canelo at this point. Benavidez can leapfrog Canelo with the opportunity he has right now. But if he fights Canelo, I'll watch that fight as well. Shout out my guy, Derek Alexander. Let me drop the hammer for my boy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Daryl. Yeah, that's a good fight. Bivol versus Benavidez, but Bivol fight at 175, right? And I want to see Bivol versus Batavia. I think, man, that fight long overdue. I think Bivol got 175 business, right? So I don't really want him dropping down there, dipping in 168 business, right? Because Canelo came up there, got in his business, right, and got beat up. That ain't really 168 ain't really Bivol division, right? Don't really got nothing to do with him down there, right? So I don't really, that ain't really some. If Dave Benavidez is going to move up, which I don't think he is right then, yeah, it will make sense. But David not fighting, Bivol because, they not in the same division right now, right? Bivol's the champ at 175. He would like to fight Berterviev. Dave Benavidez at 168, right? He want to fight Canelo. Jamal Charlo sitting right there. David Morrell is on the rise, right? You know what I mean? It's more than enough smoke for Benavidez right now at 168. You know what I mean? You got Canelo, you got Charlo, we got Morrell. Them the fights that I want to see. I want to see those fights. Now, Morrell and Charlo are a little different. They got the same trainer. Not saying they won't fight, but the likelihood of them two fighting isn't very high. But I most definitely could see a Charlo fighting Benavidez, Morrell, Canelo, or Charlo, Canelo, right? Benavidez, Morrell on the same card, because Morrell and David Benavidez both do got a history, right? They are about the same age. Now, Benavidez will have a lot more to lose, but if Charlo is getting that Canelo fight, Morrell versus Benavidez on that undercard, man, that seemed like that would be a good idea. You know what I mean? If really, and the crazy part is, right, what I'm trying to do with Benavidez versus Charlo is take Canelo out of the picture. But if the Canelo fight is what they want, which it really is what they want, because they both, after their fight, said that they want to fight Canelo, right? If a Canelo fight is what they want, I say, bro, the best way, the most direct way to that Canelo fight is to leave no doubt. And leaving no doubt will be for them to fight one another. To make Canelo have to pick, to make Canelo have to fight you, if I'm David, if I'm Jamal Charlo, you got to fight David or you got to fight Jamal Charlo. Or you could wait your turn, right? You could sit back and wait for him to pick you, right? But to really force his hand, I think right now we're in a beautiful spot. We're in the best spot right now to force the hand, right? If I'm David, if I'm Charlo, to force the hand of Canelo Alvarez, because who's going to be left? Who's going to be left after the winner of Charlo and David outside of him moving up a division? You know what I mean? Who's going to be left? Nobody. So we really want to, if you as a fan, right, if you're a David, I'm going to say this again, right? If you're a David Benavidez fan, if you're a Jamal Charlo fan, and you really want Canelo Alvarez to have to fight your fighter, you should be pushing your fighter in the direction of David Benavidez. You should be pushing your fighter in the direction of Jamal Charlo. Because outside of Benavidez and Jamal Charlo, there really ain't nobody else left for him to fight at 168. He will have a hard time finding a way around the winner of that Charlo-Benavidez fight, right? If it go down. If you're really a fan, right? If you're really a fan of one of these guys, it only makes sense for them to fight one another at this point, right? It only makes sense for them to fight each other at this point. That way you force the hand of Canelo. Well, you can't run no more. If Benavidez beat Charlo or Charlo beat Benavidez, and some people can feel how they want to feel about each fighter, right? I'm not sold that either fighter, right, just beats Canelo at this point, right? But you can feel how you feel about either fighter, right? I feel like they both deserve a shot. But I also feel like you leave no doubt by fighting one another. I feel like you leave no doubt by fighting one another. I'm talking about B-Ball for the 175. Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is his fights at 68. You know what I mean? He got his fights at 68 that he can fight. You know what I mean? B-Ball fight at 75. B-Ball fight at 75. You know what I mean? You know, B-Ball and Beterbiev, one fight away from undisputed. You know what I mean? And I do think Benavidez is going to 175, but I think it's gonna be after they leave. You know what I mean? But I personally think if Benavidez was gonna fight at 75, he would have already been there. You know what I mean? I think he probably would have already been there if he was gonna fight at 75. When he was missing weight and shit like that. I think now he got the weight under control, right, to where he can make it. He got his potion right, he got his regimen right, and he can make it. But I think if he was gonna fight at 75, he probably would have already done it. Right now, I think he at 78 because that's where he want to be. You know what I mean? And plus, B-Ball literally don't fight at 60. He can fight at 68, right? But B-Ball's a 75 fighter. It's 75 business, right? We got Jamal Charlo. Just if Jamal Charlo come up to 68 and David Benavidez leaves 68, I'm gonna feel a way about that. You know what I mean? Because everybody was just telling me that Charlo need to fight Benavidez, right? So if Charlo coming up and then B-Ball decide to leave, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. So if Charlo coming up and B-Ball decide to leave, if Charlo coming up and Benavidez decide to leave, I'm gonna feel some kind of way about that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look at that a little sideways. You know what I mean? Because it ain't time to leave just yet, there. It's time to get busy. It's time to get busy right now. He said Andrade was a hype job from what my computer tells me. I don't think Andrade was a hype job. I think that, Andrade got weighted out, honestly. If I'm honestly telling you how I feel, I feel like Andrade got weighted. He was 36 years old. You know what I mean? I feel like, now you could say it's up to him. Like, you could say it's his fault because he didn't fight Jermell Charlo back in the day, right? But I honestly feel like Andrade got his big fight too late. I feel like he got his chance too late against the wrong guy. And what happened. I don't feel like he was a high job. I think if we put Andrade in the ring versus Caleb Plant, right? I think if we put Andrade in the ring versus Caleb Plant, which is the fight I think should happen. I want to see Plant versus Andrade. I want to see Benavidez. Put Benavidez in the ring with Charlo. Put Plant versus Andrade on the undercard. And the winner of Charlo-Benavidez fight Canelo, and then the loser of that fight the winner of Andrade, Caleb Plant. I say that's how you do it. I say you keep the 168 tournament going because that's really what's going on right now. It's the 168 tournament happening before our eyes. And Jamal Charlo and Benavidez are the last two, right? So, what I'm doing is I'm putting together boxing, right? I'm putting together this boxing tournament without Canelo. I'm trying to force the hand of Canelo, right? And make him decide to fight one of these guys. You know what I mean? If Charlo and Benavidez fight one another, Canelo has to fight the winner of that fight. It's literally no way around Canelo Alvarez not fighting the person who wins Benavidez Charlo, because who else at 168, right, is in position right now to really get that fight. Morrell is talented like those guys, but he doesn't have the star power that those guys possess right now. He's right under those guys, so those guys don't really have a reason to get at him, right? You know what I mean? We know Canelo not fighting David Morrell. You know what I mean? Because he feel, it's like a superiority thing. Like, well, you a lot younger than me. You know what I mean? So I don't got nothing to prove against you. You know what I mean? You trying to get to run, man. You can come get this shit after I leave it, right? But I don't necessarily have to fight you unless I want to. And there's some truth to that, right? And then it's another part of you like, he the best fighter, fight him, right? But that's boxing, man. It's boxing, then it's business, right? But I digress. What I'm trying to do is force the hand of Canelo, though, right? Charlo, appreciate. What's good, AB? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. AB, shout out my guy Becky, man. My guy Becky is the one that brought that conversation up, right? He said Andrade was a hype job. I don't really think he was a hype job, man. I kind of think they waited him out, man. I kind of think he got his opportunity a little too late. That's me personally. That's what I think. DS, what's good, pimp? Shout out my guy DS. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, DS. Glad you can make it, man. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. Let YouTube know that we live, man. Let YouTube know we talking this good boxing. Let YouTube know that you in the place to be. Let YouTube know where you decide to be this morning. I greatly appreciate everybody sliding through, man. You could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to be right here. And I greatly appreciate it. I know there's other people live right now, but y'all do your boy solid. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. And I digress. He said, either way, I think he might be done now. Yeah, Becky, I think he might be done now too, bro. I don't think he has to retire, right? I think before we can make that, right, Becky? Shout out my guy Becky. Becky, I think before we could make that one right, I think before we could make right, before we could say he done right, he should get one more fight, right? Like Ugas got beat up by Earl Spence, right? And everybody said he done. And then he came back, and then he got beat up by Barrios. Now he done, right? You know what I'm saying? I think we got to see that second fight. After you take your loss, we got to see how you perform in your next fight, right? Before we, oh yeah, he done. Because some people wanted to destroy Mario Barrios, but you know what I mean? He fought Keith Thurman, and he fought Tank, got beat up. Fought Keith Thurman, got beat up. Some people was like Mario Barrios done, right? But he came back with a great performance against Ugas. Now, Ugas being 36, right? He probably is done. Ugas being 36, he probably is done, you know, given his age and his attrition and where he at in his career. I think Boo Boo does have the age right, but I would like to see what he looks like in one fight before I just, throw him out the conversation completely, right? That's why I say, Andrade versus Caleb Plant. I like to see Andrade versus Caleb Plant and Charlo versus Dave Benavidez on the same card, right? The winner fight Canelo Alvarez, because he's not going to have a choice but to fight the winner of that fight, and the loser fight the winner of Andrade and Caleb Plant. And we keep that thing going there 168. Chat, my guy DX said that'll be interesting. My guy AB, the IT, what's good, baby? TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, pimp. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, man. He said, Caleb Plant, that's your mans and them. Shout out Caleb Plant, man. Like my girl Cassandra said, T, I like this blueprint. Well, I thank you, Cassandra, man. I be in my bag, man. I just be thinking this shit back to myself. When I talk this boxing with y'all, I just come, the stuff I be thinking about to myself, I just come and I talk about it with y'all. You know what I mean? That's all they be going on. But I digress. Shout out my girl Cassandra. Appreciate you sliding through. Mr. Becky said, already, Mr. T. Appreciate you. Marky Dan, what's good, my brother? From another mother. What's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Marky. Glad you can make it. Appreciate you sliding through this thing last night, kicking it with us. Sunday football. You rat bastard. Shout out the degenerate Marky Dan sliding in the building. Y'all do your boy solid. Y'all hit that thumbs up. We talking a little boxing. We haven't even got to Demetrius. We haven't even got to Boo Boo. I said Boo Boo. I said Demetrius, then I said Boo Boo. Boo Boo, I'm gonna be talking about me. We haven't even got to Jerome, Boots Ennis, and Connor Benn, because we've been talking about, you know what I mean, this Andrade and Andrade Benavidez and Charlo-Benavidez situation. We didn't even get to, the second piece, you know what I mean? But let's talk. My guy Daryl Alexander said Demetrius has a difficult style to adapt to, but he's beatable. And as we just seen, I was disappointed in his performance. Me too, bro. To be honest, I thought he would do better. Facts, bro. But it wasn't his night. It just wasn't, bro. I thought he would do a lot better than he did too, honestly. I thought he would do a lot better than he did. I appreciate you, Mark Dan. My guy Marky Dan said, your consistency is elite. Appreciate you, pimp. Appreciate you. Appreciate that, Marky. But I digress. Shout out to my brother, Marky Dan. But yeah, I don't think he done, man. I think we got to see what he looked like in that second fight, right? That second fight after a bad fight let you know where a fighter is at. If he could continue, if he probably need to hang it up. So I think we need to see Andrade in at least one more fight. Why not Caleb Plant, right? Why not Caleb Plant to see exactly where he at? Shout out my guy, Daryl Alexander. Inside the square circle with King Judah. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Pimpin. Glad you can make it my G. Always good to see you. He said Benavidez is a damn. Oh shit. He said Benavidez is a damn heavyweight, but it's funny. I never heard people who called Devin a weight bully ever say David was a weight bully. They called him the Mexican monster. Well, that's a good point when you're talking about, weight bullies and whatnot. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. I feel you, Judah. My guy Jermaine Bean, do your boy solid, Jermaine. Hit that like button for your boy when you slide on in. Jermaine, I don't think I seen you here before, but I don't know if it's the first time. If you could, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button, Brody. We talk this good boxing, sports, parlays, predictions, MMA, every single day, not just today. If you like ESPN, you go love it here. You know what I mean? Not quite 24 hours, right? But man, we get a good about 16 of them motherfuckers in here. You know what I mean? But appreciate you sliding through this joint. Jermaine, feel free, drop a comment. You know what I mean? Free discussion. Ain't no wrong answers in here. This purely, opinion. Spit your shit. I'm gonna do better about, reading y'all comments and shit I say. I'm gonna do a little better about actually, trying to get through here and read what the hell y'all got to say. So y'all just don't feel like y'all coming in here talking to, a goddamn dictator talking head and shit like that. Because I do appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. I really do. And all the content that y'all help, that y'all give me. But my guy Jermaine Bean said they gonna feed Andrade and Plant to Morrell. And I like that. I like that, Brody. I like that. Dave Morrell actually got a fight coming up. Morrell got a fight coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken. He got a fight coming up it's in December. I got to find the exact date, Jermaine, but he got a fight coming up soon. But eventually, I do see, guys like Andrade, Caleb Plant having to fight Morrell. Those will be the two names that probably would have to get in there with David Morrell, being that they just took the losses the way that they took the losses, right? They took the loss like Caleb Plant got 2 losses to Canelo and David, right? Andrade just took his loss, right? So outside of them fighting one another, and then you got Demetrius Andrade, right, who just said, Caleb Plant is good, but I'm not Caleb Plant, right? Took a little shot at Caleb, but they friends, right? But if you making money together, you fight, right? But most definitely, I could see that Plant and David Morrell, Andrade, David Morrell. I could see that. I think they're about one more loss, right, from them actually having to fight David Morrell. If the loser of Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade probably would fight David Morrell, but I think maybe you put those two together. Somebody gonna have to see David Morrell eventually, though. David Morrell about another year or so away from people not being able to avoid him. They can still avoid him right now by ranking, but he probably like another year away from them actually not being able to avoid him. You know what I mean? On paper. But I digress. Jermaine said they go build Morrell with both of them. Shout out to my guy Jermaine. King Judah said, I'm the type that don't care what you say about me or anybody else. Just be consistent. Don't pick and choose what's good for the goose and good for the gander. My guy, you absolutely correct, man. 1-2 Pivot said Plant won't let him build Morrell off his name. Plant only going to take money fights or tune-ups. Yeah, I mean, but if they tell Plant if Plant keep losing the money fights, right? Let's just say Plant fight Demetrius Andrade, right? 1-2. If Plant fight Demetrius Andrade and he lose, he ain't gonna be getting no more money fights because he ain't gonna be, he gonna be a name to a guy up and coming. He's no longer gonna be a name to a contender. If you lose to the loser of this fight in general, the loser of Plant and Andrade, right? Let's just say that they fight. Now, speaking hypothetically, right? Because we talking on the basis of I want to see Benavidez fight Charlo, and the co-main probably should be Plant and Andrade, or Plant and Andrade should be somewhere up on there. We stand in the 168-pound division, right? And we trying to, what we doing is we forcing Canelo Alvarez's hand. The winner of Charlo and Dave Benavidez outright, Canelo Alvarez has to fight that person. There's no way around it. There's nothing you can say. That would be literally the last man standing at 168. That would literally be the last man standing at 168 between David and Jamal Charlo. If you really a David Benavidez fan, if you really a Jamal Charlo fan, right, and if you really want them to fight Canelo, if you really want your fighter to get their chance at Canelo, right, you really want that fight, your direct shot at that fight is to beat David Benavidez, or your direct shot at that fight is to beat Jamal Charlo. That's either one of the two, if you one of the two. That's either if you one of the two. Your only way is to beat the other guy. Only way. And if we get that fight to go down, I say you stick Plant and Demetrius Andrade in there and let them face off. And the loser of that fight probably will be fed to David Morrell. If Caleb Plant can't beat a Demetrius Andrade, right? If he loses to a Demetrius Andrade, he's going to have to fight David Morrell to get his name back, right? If Caleb Plant loses his next fight, let's say he loses his next fight, his next big fight, only got to be his next fight. His next fight could be against Tomato Can, right? If he loses his next big fight, he will have to fight David Morrell Jr. to get his name back and to get the clout back for him to keep getting the money fights. You know what I mean? 1-2 Pivot said it's like Thurman now. He ain't trying to let no youngin' build their name off the heels unless they're going to get paid crazy. These dudes would rather retire. Thurman is in a bit of a different situation. But yeah, like if I'm Thurman, I wouldn't fight Boots either. I don't want to see that fight. I don't think that fight competitive. You know what I mean? Right? I don't think Thurman and Boots competitive. I don't want to see it. I don't really want to see it. You know what I mean? I like to see competitive fights. I don't really like to see name builder fights, right? I think Plant and Morrell is competitive, right? I think it's competitive. You can feel like Dave Morrell win, right? But that's a competitive fight. That's a boxing match. You know what I mean? That's going to be a boxing match. Them first 6-7 rounds going to be hell for David Morrell. You know what I mean? That's going to be a good-ass boxing match. I think that's competitive. That's why I want to see it, right? Thurman and Boots, I don't think that's really competitive. I really don't care for it. I don't care for it. Honestly, don't. I don't care for it. Really don't care for it. Like the age split, the athleticism split at this point is not really one that I'm interested in. You know what I mean? So I get that. Now, a fight that I do want to see, right? Right? So we talking about the welterweights. The fight that I do want to see, right? I said Boots, right? You said Keith Thurman. I know you was talking about Boots 1-2 people. You had to be talking about Boots, right? Because who else we was gonna be talking about? That's a good fight. Morrell and Billy. Big Tex was good. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, King. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. I know there's other people live right now. You could be anywhere in the world right now. You chose to be here. Greatly appreciate you coming through. We having this David Benavidez and Jamal Charlo conversation. We talking about, we're really having a 168-pound conversation at this point, right? We having us 168-pound conversation right now, how it's stacking up, where it's going. And what I'm saying is right now, man, I don't even want to talk about Canelo, right? I want to take Canelo out the equation. I want to force Canelo Alvarez's hand. And I feel like by forcing Canelo Alvarez's hand, the best way to force Canelo Alvarez's hand, right, if you're the 168-pound division, because he made a joke years back and said, right, how about all y'all fight each other and then I'll fight the winner? Well, guess what? We pretty much got down to the last two bosses in this 168-pound tournament. Andrade been eliminated. Caleb Plant been eliminated after Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. He lost to Canelo and he lost to David Benavidez. Caleb Plant has been eliminated after Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. Andrade lost to David Benavidez and he didn't put up a good fight. He didn't look good. Didn't have a good showing. He lost, and he lost badly. He's eliminated out of the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. So guess what? It's only 2 guys at 168 that's left in this Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. And if you're really a fan of Benavidez, you're really a fan of Jamal, instead of arguing and bitching about who deserve to fight more, because they both deserve to fight, right? Whether I feel like Jamal deserves it because Canelo been running from him longer, or you feel like David Benavidez deserves it because he's the man right now, right? We can argue about that shit all day. But guess what we can't argue about? The winner of Jamal versus Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, wouldn't be able to duck. He wouldn't be able to deny, because there will be nobody left in that sweepstakes. There will be nobody left in that sweepstakes outside of the winner of Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo. You get what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it, right? And if you really want to get spicy, you throw Caleb Plant versus Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade on the same fight card, right? And if you really want to get spicy, you put David Morrell and Christian Mbili on that same fight card at 168. And we really can do that damn thing at 168. And all of this is without Canelo Alvarez, right? That 168-pound tournament that Canelo Alvarez was joking about them having, and he fighting the winner, right? Well, we down to the last 2, Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez. And I say it's about time, right? It's about time that you leave Canelo Alvarez nowhere to go, right? You leave him no more choice. He either got to lead a division, right, go up or down, or he got to fight the winner of Charlo, David Benavidez, because it ain't going to be nothing left. Take, MMA. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Take. Glad you can make it, Queen. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Queen. Hope you're feeling better. My laptop finally finished updating, so now I can switch to the laptop and talk to y'all the right way. You know what I mean? Trap said Thurman's biggest fight is Haney, but folks have moved from Boo Boo to Matisse. He's the new most overhyped guy in boxing. He's not good. Come for a robot. Who you talking about? You talking about Matisse? Is no good. He said Jamal look good, fast, powerful, and throwing combinations. Hey y'all, I said Jamal Charlo versus David Benavidez. Y'all want to know what that fight is? Y'all want to know what I see when I see that fight? And David Benavidez is speed, power, and pressure. You know what I mean? Jamal Charlo is speed, power, and precision. When them folks finally decide to get in the ring, right? I feel like we need that fight. Boxing need that fight at 168. Speed, power, and pressure versus speed, power, and precision. When them folks finally decide to get in the ring and they finally decide to do it, the fans are going to be the people who win. You know what I mean? The fans are going to be the people who win that fight. Because that's, like I said, man, that's like the final boss. That's the final boss fight, right? That's the final boss fight before Canelo has to make a decision, right? He said, if Miles fight Benavidez, then who does Canelo fight in the meantime? I'd rather both of them get the fight. Canelo said that he's taking a rest until May. After his last fight, Canelo said that he's going to take him a rest until May, until Cinco de Mayo. So Canelo not fighting nobody in between. He resting. That's what I'm saying. So he really... Yeah, but Canelo said he gonna take him a little rest until Cinco de Mayo, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, if Canelo decide, Canelo could pick either or these guys, right? Right? That's always, he could pick either or these guys, right? But what I'm saying is, instead of, you know, Charlo saying, hey, instead of Charlo fans, right? Hey, Charlo deserves this fight more. Or Benavidez fan, Benavidez deserves to fight more, right? Instead of everybody going back and forth with one another about who deserves to fight more, if they just go ahead and get in the ring and they fight one another, so instead of pushing Benavidez versus Canelo, instead of pushing Charlo versus Canelo, you like y'all used to do when they wasn't in the same division, right? When everybody had that greasy shit to tell about Charlo back then, right? How about you push that fight now when they're in the same division and it makes sense? Actually makes sense now. If you really want your fighter to fight Canelo, instead of crying to me or me crying to you about who deserves to fight more, how about they just fight one another and you leave no doubt? There will be nobody next left for Canelo to fight if David Benavidez beat Charlo or Charlo beat David Benavidez. You know what I mean? He said, I hope you're right, but Canelo has his way of dodging the competition, just like he did at 60 and 54. Yeah, he will have to move up or down, and who will he fight? You know what I mean? After Charlo, if Charlo and Benavidez fight, who else would he fight? He said Matias, hype job. Oh shit. Oh shit, trap. He said Matias caught a body in the ring. He was proving killers that people stop. He just try to somebody fuck. Man, stop it, man. Why you keep throwing Fox in there, bro? No, bro. Why do you keep throwing Fox in there? Shout out Fox though, but no, man. No, that's not the move, man. That's not the move, man. You know what I mean? That's not the move. Charlo, most definitely there, man. He's most definitely there. That man was off 2 years. He was off a 2-year layoff, and he came in the ring, and he looked like that. So clearly, Jamal Charlo got some shit going on with him. You know what I mean? Because most guys off a 2-year layoff, they come in, they look slow. They get tired. Charlo didn't look slow. Charlo didn't look tired. A lot of them shots that people think was landing, one landed. Look at Jose Benavidez face compared to Charlo face. Charlo literally was having fun out there. Charlo was having a fucking blast out there. Literally. He was having a blast. He was talking to him. Put on the boxing virtuoso. You know what I mean? Put on the boxing virtuoso out there. He looked more than ready, and that was off a 2-year layoff. So that means his next fight go be off him actually going 12 rounds. He came off a 2-year layoff, got 12 beautiful rounds in, pitched the shutout. That man ready. People keep saying, like, what fight do y'all be watching? You know what I mean? What else could he the only outside of what he did, the next best thing for him would have to not to got hit at all. The next best thing for him would have been not to get hit at all. That would have been the next best thing. Bro, Jose Benavidez got so frustrated. The man started throwing 7, 8-punch combinations. He started throwing 7, 8-punch combinations, just hoping something hit. And I bet you that's what most people think. I bet you that's what most people say. Oh, Charlo didn't look good. Because David Benavidez was just, he wasn't, bro, this how you know Charlo, that's called frustration. When a man throws 7 and 8-punch combinations, he throwing them because he probably can't hit you. You know what I mean? Now, David Benavidez is a little different. David Benavidez boxed you down walking forward before he started throwing his 7 and 8-punch combinations. Jose was throwing 7, 8-punch combinations and landing 2 punches. And people saying, Charlo boxed a perfect fight almost. Literally. Defensively, offensively, from the first jab that Charlo threw, I knew that Charlo was back. You know what I mean? From the first jab that he threw, I knew that dude was back, bro. How could you watch that fight? Watch him throw that fucking jab and say, oh, he not ready. Man, stop it. That jab, that's off a 2-year layoff. The timing of that jab, the power of that jab, the speed of that jab, his defense rolling with the punches, catching the shots, using the ring. Charlo stood on the ropes when he wanted to, and Jose still couldn't hit him. My opinion, right? My opinion. I feel like if Charlo wanted to go out there and get that knockout, if he wanted to put balls to the wall, go out there, lay it out on the line, knock him out, he could have done that, bro. That's not the fight where you do that to. He told you before the beginning, bro, I'm using you as a tune-up. I'm using you as a tune-up. I'm getting ready for my next fight with you. Stop it. That man is ready, dog. No smoke. What's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it no smoke, my guy. Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could, hit that thumbs up for your boy. Whether you're for a good time or a long time. But hey, man, we've been talking about that thing an hour. We've been talking about 168 an hour. Shout out Benavidez. Benavidez did his thing this Saturday. I thought he looked damn good. Shout out Jamal Charlo. He did his thing this Saturday. I thought he looked damn good. I think it's time, man. If I'm Charlo, if I'm Benavidez, it's time. If I'm a Charlo fan, if I'm a Dave Benavidez fan, right? Instead of me crying to Charlo fans, instead of me crying to Charlo fans about, hey, I deserve to fight more. Canelo should fight me. Or instead of me, if I'm Charlo to their benefit, hey, I deserve to fight more. Canelo should fight me. Instead of us crying to one another, right? Instead of us crying to one another, how about you tell your favorite fighter, get in the ring with David. I tell my favorite fighter, get in the uh uh get in the ring with Charlo, right? Or vice versa, however it feel to you. Because it's only three people at 168 right now. It's only three people at the top of 168. David Morrell is right there on their coattails, but he ain't there just yet. But it's only three people at the top of 168, right? And Canelo Alvarez has shown hesitate to fight David Benavidez. He's shown hesitate to fight Jamal Charlo. At this point, you knock Caleb Plant out the picture. You knock Andrade out the picture. At this point, it ain't nobody left but David. It ain't nobody left but David, and ain't nobody left but Charlo. So to avoid all that bullshit, instead of us in here crying, you put David in the ring with Charlo. Charlo already said, I want the winner of Andrade and Benavidez. But we all know how they go. If Canelo decides to fight one of those guys, which he very well could decide to fight one of those guys. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the power away from Canelo. Because if you David, right? If you David, most people feel like he gonna fight Charlo because maybe he feel like he could beat Charlo, right? David is a lot bigger than him. David comes forward, he put that pressure on you. I think David is a little more tailor-made for Canelo, right? He gonna be there putting that pressure on him, and I think he gonna be there for those bombs, that Canelo go throw. But I digress. But Canelo may feel like, okay, I would rather try to outbox Charlo than, go blow for blow with David because that shit might hurt a little bit, right? So instead of us, leaving it up to Canelo to pick Charlo or to pick David, because if you David, he probably going to pick Charlo, right? So you should be at Jamal Charlo head, holding him to what he said. Hey, did you say you was gonna fight the winner of this fight? If you David, for them David and Benavidez fans, now is the time. Now is the time where y'all supposed to be on Charlo head. Now is the time where you push David Benavidez versus Charlo instead of David Benavidez versus Canelo, because that's gonna start something when Charlo get that fight. But if you really want that fight, you got to take out all the heads. Charlo already said that he's fighting the winner of Benavidez and Andrade. So if I'm David Benavidez, if I'm Nick Camp, now is the time. Now is the time that you go at Charlo head. Like, did you say you wanted that smoke? Come get that smoke. Because Canelo is probably going to fight Jamal Charlo next. And that's just being real. That's just what I feel like. That's the beat that I'm getting. He probably going to fight Jamal Charlo next. So if you David Benavidez, now is the time for you to start that, hey, come fight me campaign that y'all was pushing when he was at 160. That's if you really want to fight him. Because now he in your division, and the first thing you should have said was, I want to fight Charlo. Do y'all really want to fight Charlo? Or was that just, for some clout? And now that you got the clout, you think you can go straight to Canelo. You know what I mean? But I digress. So that's my synopsis on it. But let's talk about what Conor Benn had to say. Conor Benn had something to say on Twitter. He said this about 3 or 4 days ago, and I see nobody else is talking about it, right? So Southern T, I moved to the beat of my own drum. I'm not finna wake up every day and talk about and hate on. I'm not finna wake up every day and hate on Devin Haney, right? I'm not finna wake up every day and hate on Tank Davis, right? I'm not finna wake up every day and hate on Errol Spence, right? I'm not finna wake up every day and hate on Bud Crawford, right? I'm not finna wake up every day and hate on Deontay Wilder, right? It's people who wake up every day, and find a new way to hate on Devin Haney. Find a new way to hate on Errol Spence. Find a new way to hate on Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? Wake up every day and find a new way to hate. And people love it, right? They love it. So, of course, ain't nobody talked about, the real news, the new news. Ain't nobody talked about, the real shit, what's really going on, right? So, Southern T wanted to talk about it, right? So, Southern T wanted to talk about it. And this is not the first time that I came here and I made a Conor Benn has called out Jerome Boots in his video. I'm starting to see a pattern in here, man. I'm starting to see a pattern publicly. Called him out. This is not the first time. Now, I think I want to say I heard Greg say, these guys be talking like they want to fight, but they really don't, or something like that. I think he was alluding to Conor, but Conor constantly, this is Conor, to my count, this is Conor Ben's third time saying, "What's up, Jerome Boots Ennis? What's up, Jerome Boots Ennis?" And my thing is, bro, that's a great fight for Jerome Boots Ennis. That's a great fight. That will be Jerome Boots Ennis' best fight up until this day. You could talk your ass off. A Conor Benn win will be his best win up until this day. You know what I mean? It would, as far as namesake and as far as ranking system. Because Conor Benn is still ranked in the top 5 of these sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? That would be his highest ranked fight. Roman Villa was ranked like number 40 or something like that. Conor Benn is ranked number 5. Conor Benn is ranked number 7. Conor Benn is ranked like number 8 and number 9, some shit like that. You know what I mean? He already fight 1-2 pivot. He can fight. He can fight in America. He already clear. It's y'all over there who will let Dylan White fight with no B sample, right? Who let everybody fight with no B sample except Conor Benn. I love Bumgarner, right? But who let Bumgarner fight? You know what I mean? But I ain't saying these people are guilty. All I'm saying is that the same thing that Conor Benn did, bro, they let other people fight over there without him, but they treating Conor Benn a certain way for doing the same shit. I don't get that. But I digress. But he most definitely has had a fight in America, so he can fight somewhere. So apparently what he did ain't too illegal because he showed he damn well can fight in America. And he's in America, and he's calling for American smoke. You know what I mean? And let's just be real. The best guys at 147 are from America. They're not even from over there. So he in the right spot. He can fight in the right places. And he doing the right thing, 1-2. He doing the right thing, 1-2. Nobody wants to fight Jerome Boots Ennis anyway. Nobody wants to fight him. Jerome Boots Ennis being Conor Benn ain't gonna hurt him, right? Him being Conor Benn ain't gonna hurt his resume. Conor Benn's name is big enough to where he's worth the fight. He got a whole nation, UK, who know who he is. He got a whole nation, UK, who know who his daddy is. Everybody know that Conor Benn name. They're going to watch Conor Benn. Conor Benn is a big star, right? Whether you like him or you don't like him, he's a big star, right? To his people. We know who he is over here. You know what I mean? He said he can't fight everywhere in America. Only certain commissions allow him to fight. And that's one of the commissions that he need to fight on. One of them justices allow him to fight like he just did. That's the judge he need to fight on. You know what I mean? So he can fight over here, is what I said. Because I seen him do it. So he can fight over here. And this is like his 3rd or 4th time calling out Jerome Boots Ennis. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn about him outside of the ring. I don't give a damn. He just had a fight. You know what I mean? And they still haven't just like with Dylan White. It's the same situation with Dylan White and them folks. It's just that I don't know why they decided to do what they need to do. I don't know why they doing Conor Benn the way that they doing them, right? Because it's people who B sample still haven't came up that they let him fight. I'm not really sure what Conor Benn did to them. You know what I mean? But I just saw him fight in America, so he could fight somewhere. You know what I mean? Where was they in Miami? He could fight in Miami for sure. You know what I mean? So they can take their ass to Miami, right? And I think Conor Benn really wanted to Boots in the smoke. Don't nobody want to fight Jerome Boots Ennis, no way. Don't nobody want to fight Jerome Boots Ennis, no way. Right? It ain't like fighting Conor Benn is going to hurt your reputation. Right? If anything, he go boost your reputation. Because he's a name. He's a brand. He got a whole nation. You know what I mean? And he want that smoke. He's verbally called it. Y'all go to Twitter right now. You go to Twitter right now, right? And I think as far as fans go, as far as entertainment-wise go, that's a great fight. The fans win in that fight. Conor Benn versus Jerome Boots Ennis, the fans win. Benn is coming to fight. We know Jerome Boots Ennis is coming to fight. Neither of them guys is coming to box. Neither of them guys is coming to run laps. Neither of them guys is coming to jog around the ring. Neither of them guys is coming for overtime. Both those guys possess good boxing skills. Both those guys possess good power. Both those guys are pretty athletic. That shit is going to be a banger. You don't see nowhere on Boots highlight tapes, right? Him running around the ring. You don't see nowhere on Benn highlight tapes him running around the ring. At no point do you see them running around the ring. There's gonna be a fight. Somebody is getting stopped, right? Now, whether you feel like it's Boots, whether you feel like it's Connor, somebody is getting stopped. He said Boots needs Connor like David needed Andrade. It will help his trajectory. Hell yeah, brody. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah. It only makes sense, man. It only makes sense as far as like age-wise, position-wise, money-wise, right? It makes sense. It makes sense. Now, Boots and Showtime and Eddie with Connor Benn with Eddie in the zone. So they gotta find, a means to that, but that's a big fight. People would pay for that fight. Hello. People would pay for that fight, man. He said Benn turned down like $1 million. Benn and Eubank was about to fight. That was about to fight. That was actually set up to fight, and that steroids happened. So I don't think he's afraid to, fight Eubank. But I digress. I mean, yeah, you can't. You can't give him $1 million. And he damn sure gonna make more than $1 million fucking with Al Heyman. He most definitely gonna make more than $1 million fucking with Al Heyman. He most definitely gonna get more than $1 million for Jerome Boots in his fight. He might get that guaranteed. He might get $1 million. He fuck around go get more than $1 million guaranteed. You know what I mean? He go get $1 million or more guaranteed fucking around with Al Heyman. Like off the bat, he go get more than $1 million. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I ain't know they offered him $1 million for a Chris Eubank fight. That's crazy. I would have turned it down too. That's crazy. Wow. Bro, that's crumbs. For a Eubank fight, you know how much Benn and Eubank go make? You know how much Benn and Eubank go make, bro? They tried to give him $1 million. They tried to give him $1 million. You know how much that fight worth in the UK? Or wherever the fuck, you know how much that fight worth, period. Wherever they do that, Saudi Arabia, wherever they gonna have that motherfucker at. Hell yeah, I would have turned that down on 1-2. I would have turned that down too. I would have turned that down too. He said, Benn. Trap, y'all. Trap people. Hey, but I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long, bro. I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. I gotta go pick up baby from the airport in a minute, and I want to have one more conversation before I gotta go pick up baby from the airport, right? So I'm finna end this junk. Y'all be on the lookout for the next stream, and I gotta make these plays real quick. So I appreciate everybody coming through this thing, man. Skinny Hardaway Sutton T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look.